All right, what's up, YouTube? It's DZ Manny here, and I'm here to discuss my home buying process, what I went through in order to buy my house at 21 years old. Okay, so before I start, I want to let everybody know that, no matter what age you are, it really don't matter. Home buying should be on your list of things to do that you want to accomplish, no matter how old you are, whether you're 18 or 55 or 75, no matter. As long as you do it, good job. Now, you can honestly buy a house at any age as long as you're motivated. My realtor would tell me this all the time: stay motivated, stay motivated, stay motivated. That's the number one thing to keep in your head when you're buying a house, because it's a lot of things that can go wrong or not as expected or anything. And you just always want to stay motivated. That way you can complete what you did started, basically. So I'm gonna leave some links in the description. Y'all can look at, this is some stuff that I was looking at when I was in the home buying process, and I'm just passing it along to y'all. Now, just to say this, everybody's experience is different. This is my own personal experience. I really didn't know much about buying a house when I started. I was just going off things I found on the internet or some stuff somebody might have told me. But honestly, I was in the dark and I still was able to make it happen. So this is my experience. Everybody else is different. I should say that right now. All right, to get things rolling, back in like mid 2018, I realized I might have been ready to buy a house. I was at the time renting an apartment and it was just starting to feel cramped, and I feel like I couldn't do what I wanted, and I wasn't really liking it. So my other option would be to rent a house, but rent a house around here costs so much. It's crazy. It was gonna cost me a lot of money, and I don't know if I wanted to do that. So there's this other option, which is buying a house, that I ended up doing because it felt like it was time. Honestly, it was time. And it's a feeling you get in your body where you just feel like it's time, like you're ready, or you're just ready to get ready, or it's coming up. And that's exactly what I was feeling. So I was looking over all my financial stuff, my credit, my bank statements. I mean, everything you would need to buy a house. And at that time, I quickly realized that I don't think I was ready because my financial means didn't meet, I felt like, the criteria to own a house. Now, my credit was all right. It wasn't amazing. I got a good job, but my physical cash on hand, the money in the bank, was not that high. And that is something that banks really look at when you're buying a house. Now, you may think it might be the same as buying a car, where it really don't matter how much money you got in the bank. You can go buy a car with $5 in the bank. It's different. That liquid amount of cash, like that you can just get and just give it to wherever, is something they really look at. So I didn't have enough of that. So what I ended up doing was, my job offers overtime a lot. So I ended up doing 5 10s or 6 10s, just constantly, nonstop. And I was developing like a nice amount of money in my bank account. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna say no exact numbers, but it was nice. It was like the most I ever had in my life. So I finally felt like I was ready. I got money. My credit's all right. Around that time when I was working all the overtime, I was paying off some stuff. My credit got boosted and all that. So I felt like I was ready. Like, all right, I got money, credit all right. Let's do it. My job decent. So I started searching. In total, all houses I've looked at, maybe it was like 7. The very first one I went to go look at with my dad, and we looked at it and it was fine. Like, it was cool. Price was nice. I really wasn't paying attention to taxes at the time because I really didn't know that much. That's something that's not taught. So I really wasn't looking at taxes, and I didn't realize like it was like almost $6,000 in taxes a year, which I didn't know at the time. So I was like, I think I'm ready. I want this house. So the realtor comes to me. He asks me if I have a pre-approval letter. And I'm like, no. I'm like, I didn't know I even needed that. So I ended up going through Wells Fargo, and I realized I still didn't have enough. Basically, what they were telling me was they was looking at this amount, and I was just shy of that amount. So I ended up having to keep rescheduling with this first house. Like, yeah, I'm having this date and this date and this week. Eventually came to the point where he was like, I got somebody else who's interested. Can I go forward with it? And I'm like, I guess I lost it. So That's what happened. So to cut long story short, I looked at all these other houses and, they were nice, but it came to a point where I got my own realtor. Now, prior to me looking at my first 3 houses, I didn't have a realtor. So I ended up getting a realtor, and she sent me a list of like houses that were in my price range and size and like everything I wanted. It was just like perfect. So I'm looking down the list. I'm like, oh, this is cool. And then boom, very last house was the house I bought right now that we're in. And I just thought it was perfect. I was like, I told her I want this house. So she told me, well, let's still, look at the other ones. That way we have something to go off of. And I'm like, all right, yeah, that's cool. So we spent the day with all the houses, looked at all of them, and they were cool, they were nice. It was some that were even bigger than this house I'm in now. But this house right here was like basically move-in ready. I just had to do like some little touching up, but it was basically move-in ready. Meanwhile, the other houses like needed heaters and like major like drywall work, and it was just like, I just felt like it was kind of too much, especially for the price that they were asking for. So this was the very last house we looked at. The sellers were actually still living here when I came to look, and the husband was the one who actually let me in and showed me the house with my realtor and whatever. And once I seen it, I was like I feel like it can't get no better than this house. So we ended up shooting them an offer. They counter offered, and we basically met in the middle at an agreement. So now we're in the buying process. The buying process is definitely extremely stressful. It's good to have a strong team, work with a strong team, attorney, realtor, inspector. Everybody need to be locked in together. Y'all might as well just create a group chat, honestly. And it's good to just be locked in with them, because y'all finna be involved with each other for a while. So I already had everything I needed. So we signed the purchase agreement, and that's when the ball gets rolling. Like, you're in a contract agreement now. The next thing you have to do is get an inspection done. So definitely don't cheap out on the inspector, because you may not think that it's worth it, but honestly, my inspector found like so many things that need to be taken care of in the house, and the seller took care of it. And without him, I probably would have never found out about any of it until I moved in. So he came through. He spent about maybe 30 to 45 minutes with the house. It's not that big of a house. Got on the roof, outlets, circuit breaker, water, everything. We ended up finding a couple of issues, but those were taken care of. Now you will be on the phone with your realtor, their realtor, the seller's realtor, attorney, inspector. You will be on the phone with a lot of people, and you just have to make sure that you stay committed, and you keep track of all your information, like where shit's going, who you're talking to. It's good to have that attorney there, because he or she take care of like all like the legal documents and make sure ain't no mistakes or just anything. But it's still the stuff that you have to deal with yourself. So it took about a month to close, whole bunch of back and forth, but it's finally closing day. Closing day started off with, I had to go to the bank and pull out the largest cashier's check I think I've ever seen in my life. And I had to go give it away. So we go to the place, my attorney is there, and my realtor, the seller's realtor, and both the sellers are there, and my mom was there. And it's like a stack, I say maybe like this thick of paperwork. You don't have to go through all of it. If you want to, you can, but again, your attorney is right here, and he or she did all of that for you. That's what you're paying them for. So you can go through it yourself, but you can let them do it for an amount of money, and all you gotta do is sign. Ooh, she highlighted, or he or she, I keep saying she, my attorney was a she. He or she may highlight something that you might want to be aware of, or a sticky note it, or whatever, and you just keep signing, and that's it. You hand over the money, they give you the keys, and that's all she wrote. I forgot to mention, before you even go to close, you have to do a final walkthrough. A final walkthrough is making sure that whatever the seller said that they were going to take care of, they took care of. Make sure there's no damages from them moving out or anything. Just make sure everything right, because once you sign that paper, that's it. It's your house. So once closing day finally came to an end. I own the house. It's my house. So next thing that happens is what they're gonna do is check the exterior of your house, sometimes interior, just update themselves with the house, basically. Then next thing you gotta do, go to your town hall or wherever you gotta set the water up. Go there and let them know that you own this house. This is your shit. Just because you gotta make sure you feel good about what you just did. That's a huge accomplishment. And I don't know if every town do it, but they ask that I own or rent the house. And I told them, I own this motherfucker, basically. So I set up the water, sewage, garbage, all of that. It's all set up. And now it's just time to get work on the house. I painted the entire house, ripped all the floors out, put new flooring in, and just touched up a little stuff. And now I'm just living there, just chilling, enjoying it. And it's pretty nice, honestly. It's hard work, but it's pretty nice. So some things I would have done different. Number one, definitely, is I would have saved way more money. The reason I would have saved more money is I would have more to play with. I could have put more down on the house. There's just more cushion room for me. I mean, you never know what can happen. So my advice to anybody would be save as much as you can, because when you buy the house, it's just closing costs that you have to pay, which is that large cashier's check. And sometimes the seller will offer to pay it for you, or sometimes they don't. And if they don't, it's for the most part a good amount of money. My next tip, number 2, would be do not talk that much with the sellers. And the reason I say that is if y'all gonna do any talking, it should be through the realtors, because they may say they may do something and then it comes to closing day and it's not done, and it's not recorded or it's not legal, like a legal document or nothing. It was just word to word. So any repairs or promises they telling you, make sure it's on paper. Make sure your realtor, your attorney hearing it or something. Make sure it's legit. That way, if they don't come through with it, then y'all can dispute it there. Now, of course, it's okay to text them if they say hey, we got an extra desk we want to leave. And you could be like, cool, yeah, I'll take it. Conversation like that is perfectly fine. But if y'all ever talking about repairs or what they gonna do, just make sure it's legit, because if it comes down to that day and it's not done and you don't have nothing to show for it, then, that's it. Either you buy it or you don't. There's nothing you could do. My third one would be a little more patient. Not that I regret buying this house, but I definitely was rushing because my lease was expiring in my apartment. I wanted to get a house before my lease expires. That way I didn't have to renew it. So I was definitely pushing stuff a little hard, working a lot, just trying grounding to find this house. I definitely was kind of pushing it, but it all worked out. Luckily, I'm blessed, but I would definitely say be patient. My last tip would be understanding the terms. Now, it's a lot of stuff you're gonna hear your realtor say, or the person from the bank say, or your attorney say these terms, and you're not gonna know what it means. Unless you've been around this stuff or somebody taught you this stuff, you're not gonna know. Whereas escrow and appraisal and closing costs, what is all of that? I didn't know. Now, like I said, I have links at the bottom that I was looking at during the process, and one of the links will have all these terms that they be using, all the terms and the definitions. That way you're ready, they're not speaking foreign to you. And that's it. 21 years old, I bought the house. I'm 24 now. I love it. It's so much freedom. I could do whatever I want in here, make it look however I want. I'm not paying an arm and a leg for it. And it's nice. Now it comes with its ups and downs, but that's with everything in life. I feel this whole process and this adventure had nothing but ups for me, and I'm very grateful I was able to achieve that at such a young age. Because I know a lot of people who aren't trying or trying and still trying to get to this, and they haven't got there. And all I can say is just keep going, stay motivated, stay motivated. It's gonna come. Your day is gonna come where you got it. All right, thanks for watching. Subscribe, and leave some comments. I'm gonna answer all of them.